Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session. Trying things a little bit different. Hopefully, we don't experience anything significant in terms of technical challenges. I believe I've got things set up well. Only thing I don't know about is whether or not Danksy's audio is going to come through or not. I, th- I, th- I think your audio is going to come through on Discord, but it's probably not going to get picked up by StreamYard. Maybe I can give you a link. You don't have to come on camera, but maybe you could join StreamYard. Think that'll work better. I should be streaming on myself, B3L, and on YouTube. And that was the one that I wasn't sure how. Is it good? Is it okay? Here's the link. If you join that, like I said, you don't have to go camera, but you could go camera if you really wanted to be going all out. Okay, that's fair. That's all right. But yeah, you can just go in there and it'll just show your name and your audio will come through that way. You sure it was working on the B3L? Okay. I can hear you.
Me on Streamlabs. There we go, I think.
Okay.
I can hear you now. Okay, let me check on the other one then.
Sweet. Should be good.
Testing.
I hear you great.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Testing. All right, we're good. How? But the people on Discord won't be able to hear me. That's also the problem. Unless I do this. I mute you on Discord. How's that? Or does it just... Let's just try it this way then. Good?
I hear you fine. Maybe I mute you on Discord and then I hear you in StreamYard.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that should be good. Or just turn your volume down.
I'm just gonna mute StreamYard and we'll do it this way. Right, run it. Let's see. Crazy weekend.
Yeah, right? If there absolutely chaos this weekend. Sorry, I'm trying to get out open as well. I created a PowerPoint slide, tested out all working, all doing what it should be doing. And then, of course, what happens, but the PowerPoint will not load in to StreamYard. So a little bit different here. We have the PowerPoint up. There's lots going on, things I wanted to review. So first off, the major news, of course, and that hit Twitter or X like super quick. I was seeing some macro accounts that I follow talking about Trump and that, you know, whether or not they made action on the Trump, or the first thing that they did was check Trump Memcoin. And I didn't really pay much of attention to it, but I checked, you know, maybe hour and a half later, and then saw all the news and everything that went on. And I was, of course, just like, what the heck? This is crazy. This is chaos. So dug in and checked it out. And, you know, thank goodness Trump is fine. You know, again, as a Canadian, I'm, you know, I don't know if you call it bipartisan or whatever the case may be. I follow
Let me.
politics, etc., for the purpose of really understanding things. In terms of who I follow or support, obviously I have some strong bias on the crypto side of things. So, I lean Trump as things go, and yeah, just wild how he was able to like turn his head slightly. Everything's fine. If the unthinkable happened, it would have been extreme chaos in the other direction. So fortunate for him and his family and all that kind of stuff, and that he's well. Unfortunate for the couple, I think 2 lives that were lost. I guess fortunately it was only 2 lives. But yeah, that's had I think a really positive catalyst on crypto, memes, etc. So this rebound that kind of looked like it was in progress post Germany sell-off just got gasoline thrown on it, and we've been ripping. And I don't know if we could go back we should actually share the first Fur Loco Wyckoff kind of analysis that he had done like months ago. It feels like, I don't know if it's fully months ago, but probably several weeks ago, where he was looking at that as a possible scenario playing out for Bitcoin. And of course, that's exactly what's playing out now at this point. Is that we've basically done the full Wyckoff, and I'm not super familiar with that whole process, but we've basically done that Wyckoff kind of pattern, and now we're in this rebound phase, looking like we're taking off to challenge some higher level time horizons. We've got back kind of bullish on the 4-hour, bullish on the daily. 6, 8, 12 hours, still not quite bullish. I think they hit bullish around the 64 range. So, 64K, I think, is the next kind of hurdle range that we're looking to reclaim. And then it's full go mode in terms of trend analysis. This EMA, MA moving average looks like it's going to flip positive here in the next, day or so. And then that would define whether or not the trend is in an uptrend. I think we can already suggest that. We're still at risk of this being just kind of a breakout, last breakout, and then further move down. It doesn't feel like that. It really doesn't. But want to put that out there as still a possibility. So, if you're spot or if you are leveraged, make sure you do have your stops kind of adjusted. And be aware of that possibility. But, the fundamental scenario that plays out here, there's so much positive news around Bitcoin and crypto in general, right? So, get the ETH NFTs coming. Obviously, the Germany sell-off ended. We absorbed the $3 billion worth of sell-off. There's still a bit there that in regards to Mt. Gox and whether or not that produces some pressure. Maybe. But then you can also argue that there's the FTX disbursement as well. That's probably not as imminent, but also a positive catalyst. So Mt. Gox will hang over as a possible dark cloud with some sell off. But I think the ETS on Bitcoin have been really strong in the last week. ETH ETS seem like they could be coming this week. So if that happens, that's gonna hit, and I think 2-week timeline for that to get positive. So you're looking at probably August 1 for a real strong ETH move, if that's the case. And then I think there's also some rumblings or whatever that SEC looks like they've lost kind of jurisdiction on crypto altogether, and that courts are kind of trying to pull any SEC cases against crypto, Coinbase, etc. So if that happens, then like we're full on. Like the fundamentals, the kind of the background of crypto is just go. China's kind of full moving back on crypto. Russia's got they're talking about a crypto stock exchange, all that kind of stuff. Like it's so positive, and with that, it fits really nicely to all-time highs and running into this next cycle. So I think the long-term horizon on Bitcoin and crypto in general looks strong. Short-term, we could still be in chop, but it almost feels like this black swan that we had over the weekend could be a strong catalyst for move up now. So don't get caught off on the sidelines is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. But be measured in the sense that we could flip negative very quickly, and it still not be out of reason in terms of some of the technical analysis. But I think we've kind of sentiment is definitely positive. What's your thoughts, Danksy?
Yeah, if you want to pull up the Bitcoin chart,
Mm-hmm.
if you put on the daily here,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the next 2-3 days are going to be super important, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have 5 solid green candles right now.
Yeah.
I think 2-3 days of another solid green candles, and we're back to 70K. We're back to 68K, right? And then
Yeah.
we're pushing it, and then people are starting FOMO in, and all the normies are like, oh, it's all-time high, it's time to buy. So that's the kind of game we're waiting on. I mean, we've talked about this for 3 weeks now, right? It's staying in the game, believing in the bull market, and just waiting it out, because it's still pretty early on. I think June was a good shakeout month. People got scared. People were like, "Oh, is it bear market already?" And then
Mm-hmm.
I think over the weekend, people starting to feel a lot better. I mean, just taking a step back, looking on the daily chart, not the 5 minute or the 1 minute on Bitcoin, you really see that it's looking pretty good, right? It's setting up for that next move higher, which could be in August or September, right? So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I'm still sitting on my hands, DCing in, and then just everything looks pretty solid right now. S&P is moving crazy. It hasn't even taken us a breather, right?
Right.
So I mean, everything's looking up and up to the right, and we've called some plays. I think we called Mara a couple weeks ago. We can go into equities later on, but I think Bitcoin and general equities market is looking pretty strong right now, and it doesn't seem like anything is going to shake it out. Like you said, Black Swan event over the weekend.
Yep.
Crazy weekend, and we're still green, so it's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, that we're very similar to 2017 here. I guess some comparisons to 2020 as well. This post-halvening kind of dip, kind of range cycle here, all fits in really well to the narrative, and I think we're setting up nicely to test all-time highs here, and if we can break that 71.7 range, then it's go mode. But things are landing pretty well. Try not to get too ahead of yourself. Be aware, measured, and cautious. But this shakeout scare that we had, I think, is just that, right? It's just this pullback, 25, 20, what was it, 20, 22 to 25% range on the pullback. And the other part is typically in these cycles, in these bull runs, we still have this 1 or 2 periods of a fear kind of scenario play out, and we hadn't had that in this cycle yet. And I think this happening it helps kind of reset the market and get things going well. And if you take a look at something like, and I don't know how often you look at this, I found it pretty interesting. Let's get it up here. Which one is it? Sorry, I've just changed all my bookmarks around. So CoinGlass, and taking a look at the liquidation map. But this is an interesting look at where pockets of liquidity exists and where we could see important levels. 65K range here more recently, and you can see then from there 67. So there's a couple pockets on the way up of liquidity that I think are going to be a bit of a magnet on the way up, and kind of key levels for us to try and kind of grab as things move up there. So, and then of course just nothing but short liquidity up at the 72K range. I think Ansem got liquidated on a position over the weekend. Again, Black Swan kind of tests out your technicals. Sometimes price action delivers the narrative, right? So, and I think that's what's playing out is this Black Swan kicking things off and really jolting the market forward there. So that's Bitcoin. Of course, it's positive, then everything else kind of likes to move with it. And so, ETH, memes, etc., rallies across the board. We'll take a look at that. I think we're probably good now to slide into NFTs.
Wait, Rhodes,
So
can you add
NFTs,
me on my phone real quick?
yes.
And I'm gonna hop off real quick on my other one.
Okay. There we go. We got Danksy on the phone. I don't know why.
Yes. Does this work? You can hear me still, right?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it can actually sound a bit better on the phone. But yeah, I mean, how's StreamYard for you so far? You like this? Is this something I think this allows us to be a little bit more dynamic with the presentation, etc. As well, I can see what we have for viewers as well. So that's really cool. At least for the connected accounts, I don't know if it makes sense for us to get B3L connected in here or not, or maybe that's something you can do. But we do have looks like 45 viewers through my account as well, plus B3L account, and then obviously YouTube is also available. So it's really cool, multiple avenues, and then we can be more dynamic in sharing things, adding some intros, etc. So we'll enhance this as we go, and then maybe this is something that can be adopted beyond that into
Yeah,
NFTs.
I think it's pretty solid. Just the Discord issue is weird, but yeah, keep running NFTs right now.
Sure. And then maybe I can get Discord, your voice shared through the StreamYard. I could probably share the StreamYard instead of doing the B3L stream, and then that way they get the StreamYard kind of shared through. So maybe that's what we'll try next time for Discord. So that way members have the full access into Discord and can communicate directly there. But obviously they can go to X or anywhere else. NFT volumes down. Again, we've discussed this. I'm actually curious to see, and I don't know if this is an issue with the data coming through into Dune, but Magic Eden looks like it's dropped off pretty significantly. It's still there, really low volumes, but I have to double check to see why Magic Eden looks as low as it does on there. Blur a bit, but buyer to seller ratio. I'm going to update these indexes as well. I'm just going to filter it down to what I think are the, say roughly 25 collections that are the most important collections in NFTs. I think really it's, I want to measure the quality of collections. Some of these blue chips aren't as vital or important at the moment. And some of these mid caps are. And so I just want to kind of consolidate them. Renga, one of the more recent winners here lately. We also have with that Lazy Lions, a bit of a surge. These are, we would consider small caps at this point, but still, nonetheless, a bit of a move. Of course, we had our majors performing a little bit better there, kind of led by Doodles, and some of the other larger caps looking pretty well. I'm going to dig in through Parsec. Parsec, I think, is a great way to break them down. Gives us an idea of where levels are, etc. So let's take a look there. I'll load up Parsec. Sun's trying to get in there and pester me here. This is resetting my look.
Yeah, I think on the bigger picture side, I think I mean, NFTs
Right.
obviously follow Bitcoin, ETH, whatever native chain they're on. So it's definitely a secondary flow out of those chains into
Mm-hmm.
NFTs. So
Yep.
I think first wave Bitcoin, um, ETH maybe ETH might be a runner here for this next leg up for the bull cycle, especially with ETF news, right? And then
Yep.
give it some time, not sure when, but definitely some of that capital would flow into NFTs. NFTs being a significantly smaller market than crypto itself. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on the NFT side. So the declining volume chart is not surprising for NFTs right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah, exactly. And the reduction in volume, I think, is still pretty positive for NFTs in the sense that it doesn't create any false volume and this kind of market conditions that aren't normal to what they should be experiencing. Little retraction on pudgies, but this 10 ETH range is pretty good. A break above 10.75 or 11, I think, is going to be uh, a a really interesting one for them. You can see a bit of a move in the upside here. But Pudgy Penguins, they're going to likely lead this next cycle. Possibly Punks in there as well. Mutants. I talked about Mutants on the Thursday space, where I thought they were probably uh, at an interesting value, given the fact that I think they've kind of essentially bottomed out, and Parsec's being a little slow, which is a little annoying here. Punk's a bit of a rebound rally. Looks like they're pushing back up to 30. Like I said, Mutants, when you look at Mutants here, this 1.75, 1.6 range really is, I think, what is a pretty safe established floor. And so I like them where they're at. Whether or not they get enough of a move, larger collection, et cetera, it's a little harder for them to take that move. But you know, I would feel comfortable with a mutant at this price point. And look interesting. Doodles going to struggle to get above that 2 ETH kind of barrier range. I look for Doodles probably, another month down. I think it depends on how much teasing they do prior to the Toronto Film Festival and that whole rollout of the film and some of the releases. I know Julian's kind of talked about some of that timeline, etc. That's where doodles are going to start to expand. You're going to get kind of a move up with some of the teasing, and then probably a bit of a sell off post Toronto, unless there's enough kind of more information and news teasing that comes out with that event. But Doodles, I think, look strong and look like they could join in with some of the kind of leading collections there. So that's really it for the most part on NFTs. You're right. The way we take NFTs is that they're going to kind of be a trailing end to the cycle. But for the most part, it feels like they've bottomed out and they're in this consolidation, and some collections are making some moves out of that consolidation. But that's really where we look at it. Milady's interesting here. This is an upward trend line that we look at, and so it's 4.75. If they break 5, I think they look really interesting. They've been in this strong daily uptrend for really back since the beginning of March. They kind of counter trade NFTs, but they seem like they move with the market here too as well. So one of the more safer trends that are going on, probably the most positive NFT that we've seen across the board. So they're one to watch there in that respect. Yeah. Any thoughts on NFTs? Any specific questions, sir?
Yeah, can you check how Pudgies is doing versus Bored Apes? Can we see those overlaid?
I probably could. There's a way I can do dual charts here in Parsec. The other way I can do it is just, so like NFT price comparison. This is the one here. It'll let me look at multiple charts. So there's if I know Pudgies has got a bit of an edge at the moment.
Yeah, dude, the Pudgies social media push for non Web3 people is insane.
100%.
Like, I'm
The
pretty sure
engine
they
that they
have.
have, yeah, the engine that they have going on, and the way Luca's able to draw in a bit of attention and placements, etc., are easily the strongest in Web3. And that's really where his success comes from. So yeah, you have apes here pushing just shy of 10. Pudgy's above that in this 10.6 range. It's not giving me that overlay load here. But this is a way you can kind of compare them over time. Best way I can do it right now is look at it and kind of flip between the two a bit. So
Yeah, relatively the same. I think we're expecting some announcement from Luca relatively soon. Probably Q3, right?
yeah, it looks like this consolidation is really stronger in Pudgies, right? They've held this range all the way back to mid-March, where apes have had a bit of a downtrend in this range, a bit of a spike. Pudgies is now taking a lead. It's possible that apes try to follow with, but the trend downward here on apes is still kind of continued. A little less consolidation here at the bottom, but it's there at least. This downtrend is kind of stopped, and that's the most positive thing that we get out of apes is that we have held this almost kind of right to there, where we're no longer, we didn't get a move up out of that downtrend, but at least we're no longer in this down channel that's held for months, right? What you will look at, but ways for them to go. Where do you get positive on apes? You get positive on apes when they're back above 15. I think that's really, and I mean that's a 50% move. So I say that, but like there's all kinds of room to progress. But like where do you get like bullish and positive on apes? I think it's still 15, which is a ways to move.
Yeah, I mean, Yuga, they've always been pretty quiet. I think now they kind of have to have more communication. They don't get that
Yep.
benefit of the doubt anymore, right? Um, with the Luca, people are challenging them for that top spot. So we'll see. We'll see if they're going to open up the communications or next steps. But we really don't know anything about what their next move is. Like they were hinting at Clubhouse a while back, but now I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have to be more vocal. They have to start building out that brand and what it's like to be an ape, right? You just start a campaign of highlighting apes and what it's like to be an ape and own an ape and what are apes doing, made by apes, etc., and just kind of push that narrative. I think things start to change, right? Can you highlight some of the individuals that are apes and what they've done and who they are, kind of sort of thing. I think that you have to add that culture back, and that's the push that I think would really work for them.
Yeah, I think if we talk about reach, um, I definitely think Pudgies get more impressions and reach than Apes at this point. Like Apes is pretty strong, like their brand recognition is pretty strong within Web3, but Pudgies has Web2 control right now.
See, Chief shared the latest on ETH ETF. July 23rd is the latest guess. Yeah, I am the only reason why I say this week is possible is that there was another analyst that was making a staking claim of this week. So nothing's been heard yet. So this week feels fast. But end of week, is it possible? Potentially. But that ETH ETF, when it gets kind of announced, you're going to see a move on ETH. You're probably going to see a bit of a sell-off pressure post ETH ETF launch, and then, like I said, a couple weeks post is where you could see. So just a watch for any overhang, any accessibility for any kind of sell off. I believe Grayscale holds some ETH, and there's a possibility for that kind of degree of sell off. But yeah, it's going to be a positive narrative for crypto in general, but it's also going to lead to some positivity, I think, for NFTs too, right? Just because of the ETH attention in general, right? Taking a look at Mintify, wins and out Yawa, another one that's kind of been paused over a bit. Seeing a little bit of energy towards art as well. Just kind of a rebound, and there's been a major kind of, even a more of a sell-off in art NFTs than there was in some of the PFP NFTs. And so when you look at some of these NFTs that are down significantly, things like Chroma Squiggles and Fidenzas, etc., are down even more. So Punks up a bit, 10%. You can see Pudgies here, Doodles, all kind of performing pretty well over the last 24 hours, which is excellent to see. In the last week, Pudgies, Captains, and Redacted Remelios, kind of the few that are up. But some recovery here over the last few days. If ETH moves up at a fast pace, then you will see NFTs price down. It's only natural in that respect. So don't be surprised if NFTs do see a bit of red as ETH runs. Now, if they're both running together, then that's a whole different scenario, and that's where you see a kind of much more bullish conditions. But yeah, I'm going to move along back to the slides. I would switch it the other way, but into the slides. Meme coins. Found this interesting, is that the most recent movers. This is really a list of the meme coins that we've talked about almost the most on these shows. So when we get together and talk which ones look strong, here are 4 that we've talked about a fair bit that are leading kind of some of the bounce back. Billy, this 100 million to 200 million range. Again, it's a pretty fast moving range. It did go all the way back up to, or hit 200 million after we had called it just above 100 million. It had pulled back. Now it's kind of on a run back up. Once I think it holds above 200 mil, I don't know where Billy goes. I like the range from 100 to 200. Above that, it gets a little bit more challenging to see where it has to move to, $250 million or $500 million. Is that possible? Maybe, but I hesitate on the momentum for it. Mog, I think, is still leading the charge out of this, more so than Pepe and Whiff are. And then Popcat and Mitchie are kind of 2 of the secondary ones that look good. Let's take a look at meme coins in general, but I just wanted to call out those ones that are kind of winners, as they are all ones that we've really looked at. But we should see a nice degree of bounce on a lot of tokens, and in fact, most across the board outside of Bowden are up, and up decent amount. Nubcat up 44%.
Actually,
What else
if you want to do a tangent, can you look at Vance with the recent VP announcement for Donald Trump? It's top meme coin right now.
Vance. Oh, so he got the announcement?
Yeah, Vance is the one. He is
There
the
we go. The MAGA King. Love it. That's great. That's a great meme.
might be
So
a good
he's got his.
buy. Is this a Solana or ETH? It's an ETH one. Interesting.
Is this an official? Because it ran and then it retraced. Is this kind of official, or is this kind of the leading candidate? Let's go to Polymarket. I think this is the best way to look
What do you
at.
mean by official? Like official meme coin or official
Is
VP?
he the official?
He's the official VP
Okay, well then
for
he
Trump.
should. I was actually seeing that earlier today because they're coming out with Vance dog coins and stuff like that in Bullx. So this is kind of an interesting way to look through, but you can see all the new ones and they're all Vance related. But I am trying to pull up Polymarket. My bookmarks I reorganized them thinking I was reorganizing really well. I try to go by the the symbols of them, but it's kind of tough sometimes to. I guess I could just type it in. Yeah. So JD Vance.
Yeah, he
100%.
announced it on 2 hours ago, and Elon tweeted about it. Everyone, it's official now.
Jeez. See what happens during my workday? I mean, I mostly was setting this up, but I totally missed that altogether. So I haven't been on the X. So yeah, I mean, if you talk about Vance at this price, now he's the VP. So, how much is he worth in that respect? Well, I think obviously more than this current 4 million market cap, right? So I think there's room to move, and we'll see how much when he's into some of the rallies, et cetera, and what he's able to provide in the terms of memeability, right? But I don't think that this is much of a off play. I think this is quite interesting. Look for wicks as well that need to be filled, right? And how that goes, but being very new. Let's see.
How new is the token? It's probably pretty old, right?
Yeah,
Good at days.
it's been around since the 26th.
Right. I mean,
So
it's a meme
of
coin at
June,
the end
that
of the
is.
day, right? So
Mhm.
it's once people move their attention somewhere else, it's gonna quickly fall back. So actually, fear not, I saw it was someone called it yesterday, if you want to look at that as well.
In our B3L, someone called it.
No. I think some like Telegram group I'm in, but fear
Oh,
not, it's like number 4 right now.
what's the meme on this one?
I don't know. I just remember the name in the Telegram group.
Mm-hmm.
But I think over the
Don't.
weekend people were calling some good ones that I missed out on. Bob,
Here was a big winner, wasn't it?
Ear, yeah, Ear. What's it at now? What was that before? If you want to check that. It's probably a Solana token. Let me see.
Here stays on. That would probably be it. So we got up to 30 mil. It's down to 1.62. I mean, Trump is still the token. Trump and MAGA, I think, are the two you're really looking at. Trump's performed well.
What about Tremp on Sol? That's the one I have,
Trump,
and it's been
yeah,
okay.
it lags a bit, but still manages to do well. I mean, it looks pretty good. here over the last little bit. Nice kind of a relief move here above current support levels in this like 50-cent range. So it's not bad. Trump on the hourly. Should continue to move, right? And so like its next move up is back to this like $11 range. It's at this 835 in a nice up move. Just kind of regain the 4-hour EMAs. Like it looks, yeah, it looks pretty good.
This one's on ETH, right? I haven't traded ETH meme coins in so long. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's by far not as great of an experience as what it is trading Solana. But I mean, there's still ones to pay attention to when it comes to ETH, and I like the look of Trump here on this move. Yeah. Maga doesn't look too bad here. But not quite as strong as what we're seeing out of Trump.
Too many meme coins for Trump, honestly. They just console.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not a fan of this like segmentation that's gone on with Trump, and that like one hasn't like just cannibalized the rest. That there are a few on there, but you know, we have these three, but there's going to be more, and there are more. But I look at those, and they're all, well, even Pepe is looking pretty good, up 20% over the last 24 hours. A nice kind of move out, break out of the of this kind of range support resistance level. So that looks really clean on the daily. Into some resistance on the 4-hour, however. So if it can kind of break and close above that as well, then it's looking pretty good for a bit of a Pepe rebound. And Pepe's got some room to move up. It had definitely retraced quite a bit. So I like Pepe there. With, of course, one of the stronger performers here over this range. This chart needs to be reset. There we go. So a nice run here on WIF.
Yeah, I mean, WIP has so much more to go, right? It's just
Regain of the 4-hour.
honestly, I think Solana might be a good buy at this point.
You're not wrong. Solana, once ETF is through on ETH, the narrative will switch to Solana. And I know Solana, there's some rumblings on there, you know, probably looking towards the end of the year. But I think Solana in general is kind of lagging a bit and has room to move. Nice double bottom here on Solana as well. There's just strong double bottom at this 127 range. And even, you know, look at this kind of the breakdowns it's experienced. It's held out pretty well in this range. So a really good range in this 127 range. And so looking at this breakout on Solana, 156 has been a previous kind of bit of resistance there. But it looks good, and it's got a range to move before it gets to all-time highs. It's another 30% move for Solana, and that's not even all-time highs, right?
I think WIP is capped With trades very closely to Solana. It's almost like a 2x
Solana
of
beta,
Solana,
beta.
3x Solana, yeah, like
Yeah.
4x of Solana. So I think I'm watching Solana more than I'm watching With. With I think is, I mean it has a lot to run. So, and then
Yeah.
even then I'm watching Bitcoin as a inflow into Solana.
Ma continues to just push higher. Still a strong looking chart here. What I would concern myself with is if it's capped in this uptrend range here.
Yeah, I would not say it'd be the risk reward at this point is not too long. I'd wait for a pullback.
I agree. I would say that a possible pullback on Mog here before another move up. And then if it does break above this kind of upward range, then maybe that is a positive. But yeah, it's pushing in this kind of price discovery. And I would suspect that it has some pullback potential here. It has lagged a bit versus some of the other memes. Bowden is toast. I wouldn't touch really any Democrat related meme coin. I just don't see the upside there. You know, this event kind of galvanizes Trump in his move towards the next presidency, and it will take some pretty significant events change in momentum for him not to really move into the presidency. And I think it's really, you know, as a Canadian, it's harder to get the grasp, but typically these type of events really galvanizes and brings a country together. I would suspect that's what's going to happen here, and you know, support overall to Trump. And I mean, just the way he reacted and responded, and you know, he just comes out as this like fighter and champ from the weekend events, and I just see that kind of leading all the way through to the election. And given the fact that he's supporting crypto, still going to the crypto conference, you know, there's just so much good there that I would avoid Democrats. You know, and if you want to speculate a bit on the Vance, then you know maybe that's interesting. But meme coin wise, otherwise you're looking at the existing meme coins, and then whatever new kind of establishes itself as a possible narrative trend. Popcat looking like a bit of consolidation here at the top. Struggling to kind of push much more in this $750 million range, but I think this is maybe a bit of consolidation before it pushes towards $1 billion. I don't see anything beyond that, but you know, just running really hot here for a bit of time, and you know, consolidating a bit above this previous all-time high. So as long as it holds this like 720 range, I think it's pretty good. And it just
Take a look at Polymarket, and there's a crypto one for first cat to $1 billion, and Popcat's at 58%.
That's a freaking great Polymarket. I think the alpha is Polymarket, right?
I mean, there's like, is that a better bet than if you put $1 in this versus putting $1 in Popcat?
I think so.
Right?
Like what else is in there, right? Mew is the next. Is that right?
Other, none. What's the other?
Yeah,
cat? Michi?
None in
What's
2024, I guess.
Other or none, but right, I think it's definitely one of them will hit $1 billion.
Popcat looks like it's ready for its next leg up to hit $1 billion, right? Like it's consolidating nicely around the 720 range, and the chart looks strong and in this great uptrend. Like to me, it just looks like it's it's just a matter of time, right? Now you could say that, is this topping at all? But I don't necessarily see it. I think it's a bit of a consolidation and popcat yourself to $1 billion. So I don't disagree with you. I think that's it. The only one that scares me is if it doesn't happen in 2024. But like we're on this
Honestly,
meme
I
run.
did the math
Crypto's
here.
on this run. Like it just seems so clear, right?
I did the math. You get, if Popcat hits $1 billion,
Mm-hmm.
if you put in $1, it's an 81% gain. And then if you try to just buy $1 of Popcat, going
Yep.
up to, what is that,
That's
like
only 30%.
50%? 50%, roughly.
Yeah. Yep. Because
So you get
40,
34% buying on Polymarket. Could be the move.
So if you buy at 54 cents, it's returning $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. That's the move.
Honestly, I'm up like
Now it's a
lot.
win or lose move, right? Whereas
Right.
you put it into Popcat itself, you can sell it and and exit your position at, $500 million and not lose as much, right? I guess you can exit Polymarket though too, can you not?
You can.
Can you cancel your bet?
You can sell it or whatever. You can
Yeah,
sell your,
the market rate.
yeah. But what other cap is close to $1 billion?
Michi's at 100 mil. That's a
Yeah.
long ways, right? Nub 17 mil, not even in the equation. What are the ones that they have listed here?
Mew.
Shark and Toshi.
What's Mew
Mew.
at?
Oops. Mew is at 350. 350. Reclaiming 4-hour was previously at almost a bill.
No way.
Yeah.
You go to, was it?
580.
Ooh, close.
Oh, 926.
But that was like very early on.
Yep.
So maybe some money into Mew here. Okay, that's 3x from here. But you can get like a 10x.
It just doesn't have the momentum that Popcat currently has, right?
Right. Yeah. Mew would have to 3x. Popcat would have to go 50%.
I'm just trying to look at this and say, okay, is the bill threshold kind of hold Popcat back, and is it going to be nothing 2024 kind of thing? I don't know, but I like a small modest bet on Popcat hitting a Billy. And if you want to hedge a bit, you could.
I think once it hits like 850, 900 mil, there's like just a magnet to a bill.
Well, that was Mew, but it didn't get there. You would think it's a magnet, right?
Or you're looking at Brett's magnet situation.
Yeah. Like where was Brett at this similar range? Here's Brett back here, looking pretty similar to Popcat at the same time. Of course, it wasn't in all-time high when it was in the 700K range. But you see this bit of a consolidation move up, consolidation move up, consolidation move up, right? That's what we're seeing really with Popcat, right? Same idea. Why did I lose Popcat? Very similar chart. In fact, this is actually a similar previous all-time high consolidation in the 700K range. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think after this call, I'm gonna
Place
I'm
a couple
gonna
sold down.
oh no, I'm gonna turn on my VPN and then buy some.
You're gonna cross the border, buy some, cross the
Yeah.
border back. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's a good one. It looks like it's pushing pretty well here.
And it's such a better bet than buying the token. Like you get so much more alpha, or so much more high returns.
Yep. Back to Billy here. Let's take a look. Actually, we should also look at Giga. And we talked about Giga a little bit last time. A nice little bit of a double bottom here on Billy as well. Off this 100 mil range. Push back up to just shy of all-time high. Rejected off of it. Now, do we push above? Is that kind of the next look at it? Kind of like a down push above. That's what you look for to break this, 200 mil range and then continue up. So that's what I would want to see out of Billy here. If we don't move up and test and push above, and we reject back off of this kind of 1.8 range, then we kind of spend some more time in this area.
Yeah, I've never traded Billy, so I'm not sure how good my assessment is here. But it's one of those. I mean, I remember it first coming out, and I faded it, and then now it's still here. So, what does that say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple of things that go on with Giga here. There's this wick to fill, which is almost 200 mil, and the fact that it's above 100 mil is also kind of interesting. Chart doesn't look super strong compared to some of the other ones we've looked at, but it definitely doesn't look that bad. Holding above support, still trending upward. Like I said, it's kind of some weird activity in around that spike in volume. But as things go, wicks get filled so often, or more often than not, in these kind of scenarios. So I still like it in the sense that it's got some moving opportunity. It's in this 1 to 200 mil range, which is a pretty fast moving range attention wise. So not against Giga Chad here. I don't think it's as strong of a play as some of the other ones though that we've looked at and talked about. So that's something that if you want to go high risk, then you could go into something like Vance. Vance has kind of moved back in the is this the Vance that we were looking at?
I don't think so. I think it's the first
this
one.
isn't.
Maybe.
There's more than one Vance.
Probably. You know how the Republicans like
Vance.
to separate.
Vents. Yeah, it gets really hard to follow them. Off the start. Is this one. And it was down around 4 mil when we first looked at it. So I think this is one of the more quick, interesting, speculative, just being so low, high risk, right? But given the fact that he's VP, one of the more major risks here is that Vance isn't the one that wins, and all of a sudden it's Vence or Vunce or one of these other ones that wins out. That's going to be more the challenge point that it faces. But from there, it's just looking at what can Vance do in the terms of rallies, et cetera, to have some kind of meme ability. I don't know anything about him, whether or not he's a likable guy, or whether he's got any kind of Trump personality, or if he's more toned down. I would suspect that he's toned down from what Trump can deliver. So, maybe he doesn't provide as much fuel for the token, so to speak. But yeah, so big week. Crypto looks back on. I think some of the headwinds are off. I'll still watch for what's going on with the overhang from Mt. Gox. Most people tend to play that down a bit when they talk about crypto, macro, Bitcoin. So we'll see whether or not it is impactful or not. I know that those disbursements are happening. There's a lot of money going to people that might have thought that money was, is a bit of a windfall and sell off. But other than that, everything else looks really, really strong for Bitcoin, crypto in general, which then leads into everything else that we love in meme coins, NFTs, etc. So we'll stick with it. I'll continue to massage and work on this format of streaming. I think it's fun. I think it's something that most people are used to seeing in the space, so it kind of works well for doing these streams. A little cleaner, I think we'll continue to do it this way and work on it. But anything else from you, Danksy?
Yeah, I was thinking about what we were talking about before about the NFTs being like a secondary flow to crypto, and thinking about how that is in relation to meme coins. Like, has meme coins taken that spot being second, and now NFTs are third, right?
I would
In
say
the
so.
order of operations
Yes.
flow.
Yep. It's Bitcoin, majors, alts / meme coins, and then NFTs. That's the way I still kind of look at it, right? So, this whole ability to degen, gamble, etc. It exists so strongly on meme coins. Now, meme coins don't provide the same kind of outside value, right? Meme coin community, all that kind of stuff. That's not the same as what you get with NFTs and NFTs and the club and the identity, etc. That'll still play into it. And if everyone's making riches off of meme coins and they want to flex those riches, it's going to flow to NFTs. If they want to, talk about it and be a part of a community about it, then it's going to flow to NFTs. And that's why I think Milady's in its interesting way still performs and prevails, because they built this bit of culture around meme coin trading, etc. At least that's my perception. So yeah, I think NFTs maybe trail a bit to meme coins, but if the hype isn't there in meme coins or whatever, and you've seen it, like meme coins are a little bit quiet lately, crypto is kind of suffering, meme coins retraced more dramatically, and then you've seen NFTs kind of catch a bit of a buy there, just given the fact that if the energy is not pushing hard on meme coins, then NFTs will get it. But it feels like an either or at the moment instead of situations. So
right, people still need a home, people still need a community. So
yeah, exactly. So NFTs do serve their purpose, but I think it's more back to the way they were in 2021, 2022, early 22 to 22 is being this kind of community token, etc. And then, memes being where we can all degen, right? So
Right.
what we need is NFT communities having like meme token battles, right? Who can drive their meme token up the highest, or something like that, to galvanize or pull the two together. But
Interesting idea. Everyone makes their own Bitcoin, and
Yep.
everyone just dumps.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, though, right? Everyone would
Like
just
look
G
at
it before
look
it
at
has
MF
anything.
first. Look at that meme coin now.
Yeah. Airdrops don't tend to perform well in that respect.
Yeah. I wonder if the Pudgies got their airdrop from that other one, Pengu. That was like a long time ago, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Is that the
It was Pengu or Pen.
ping? Yeah, but that's different, is it not?
I don't think it's associated. It's just like a fun thing.
Okay.
Are you looking at the old meme coins now?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're still.
Like
It's just
Turbo's still
headset,
holding
right?
300 mil.
It's holding steady. But like
It's
it's always
crazy, right?
that whatever descending triangle descending,
Yeah.
and then it pops. That's just how all the charts are, anyways. So
Yeah. That's the that's the downtrending chart right there.
but yeah, that's the speculation, right? If it consistently goes up, then there's something weird, right? People try to time the bottom. That's kind of the game of meme coins. People like to see that like 3 fat green candles, and they're like, all right, now it's time to buy. And
Yeah.
that's what they enjoy.
They buy and then everyone else sells on
Yeah, basically.
them. Definitely
Yeah.
where you take it back to say, okay, make sure you are considering your portfolio, majors, some alts, and a smaller percentage into meme coins. But if you're running solely on meme coins, it's a risky game to play.
Yeah, I'm just watching Bitcoin right now for the next week, next couple days, and it's probably gonna dictate everything for the month. I think for sure. Bitcoin and ETH. I think ETH is gonna make a run relatively soon. There's also a poly market on when the ETH ETF is coming out. By the way.
Is there?
Yeah, it's by week. I
I guess
think
that makes sense, right? It's around that 23rd mark.
26. It's a yes or no 26.
26. So end of next week.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's 97% people are betting. If you go to just ETH on the top row, Ethereum. Or, yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, but they don't have like buy date.
No, it's just that's the day for it.
Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
I
I
think
think.
that's probably pretty safe.
Yeah, but is it actually? They've been pushing it back every single week.
I tell you, the no would return a hell of a lot. wanted to go that way.
Yeah, put in like $1. Actually, what you really have to do is look at the deadline of when they have to approve.
Well, they have approved. They just haven't. It just hasn't gone live yet. Isn't that the case?
I'm not really sure. Not gonna lie. But ETH's
Awesome.
been ripping for the last hour we've been talking.
Oh, up 6.4. A nice move here, back up to 3,500 range I was in for some time. 3,500 to about 3,650. Yeah, it's looking good. And I mean, when it all the way up to, I think when the ETFs go live, will be positive. You know, you could look at over 4K in that range. But like I said, I think there's possible once it goes live, just be aware that opportunity for sell off probably exists at that time. If we mirror off of the BTC ETF, and then probably a couple weeks of chop sideways, sell off, etc., and then it should rally up more from there. And depending on the volumes, I think the anticipation is that the ETFs could have more of a positive impact on price than it does on BTC, just because it takes less volume to move ETH up.
Oh, we'll probably see a lot more people that don't have access to ETH buy into ETH, which is like it might be the sell the news event when it comes out, but
Yeah.
there's probably like a
Yeah.
15% chance it goes up on the
Mhm.
news.
On the news, post news,
Yeah.
and long term. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
There's definitely that chance
I'm
too.
talking about the news volatility specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the news volatility was positive initially, like on the day for Bitcoin, and it did surge up, and then it kind of dumped within a few days afterwards, and then continued to kind of sell off for a bit. So yeah, I think there's a good likelihood that the news event will still be positive for ETH, and it'll take maybe a few days post for some sell off. But
Yeah.
that kind of does it for me. This was fun. I'm gonna try and also work on some video formats that I can release as well, using the kind of the same process. So much more agile through StreamYard. So I like it. And yeah, thanks again for joining. And hopefully I'll be able to catch. I have listened in to you and IO. I haven't been able to participate at all because I'm in the office, but I do listen in on those sessions as well. But either way, I'll catch you Thursday at the very latest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for this week, I think IO still has some power problems with the hurricane.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So not really sure if the Wednesday, but we're planning on Wednesday, and then the typical Thursday big spaces with Poppy. I think IO might be trying to do a options trading course because we've been
Okay.
pushing a lot of equities stuff on our alpha calls in our Discord, but that would be only on Discord right now. But I think typical week for us, Wednesday, Thursday we'll have spaces, and then we'll figure out the internal one later on.
Sounds good.
Right. Appreciate you, Rotes.
All right. You as well. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye.